Okay, I think we are now live. I can see some of you coming through. That's brilliant. Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Kat from Scratch Magazine. I'm jumping in today's live from the living room session to talk to you about a really exciting competition that we have running currently, which is called the Great Scratch Shootout. Oh, we've got some building work going on next door, which is amazing timing. So we'll try and get through this. Like I said, I'm going to be talking about the Great Scratch Shootout, which is our annual photographic nail competition for nail professionals. In today's live, I'm also going to be bringing in last year's winner, Nina Lewis, who won 2019's competition with an incredible entry. So we're going to be getting some tips and some advice and just hearing from her how the competition has sort of helped her career in this last year. So a bit of information about the competition for those that perhaps aren't familiar with it. It is our annual photographic nail competition. It invites you, the nail professional, to team up with a team of photographers, makeup artists and a model to create a really, really stunning editorial entry, a beautiful image that you wouldn't, you could see potentially on the cover of Scratch. It really invites you to get creative, to kind of step out from the nail desk and perhaps have a go at something that you don't normally do, which is editorial work. It invites you to get as creative as you like. It really is a fantastic way to step into the competition world. It is open worldwide, so you don't have to be a UK tech to enter, and it is open to any skill level or any experience. So perhaps if you haven't entered a competition before and you're looking to sort of expand your portfolio, this is the perfect competition for you, especially right now as there's no live competition day, so you won't have to travel, you won't have to do any of those things that would normally be associated with a live competition day. It is all done online, which is great, and remotely as well. The competition has prizes, which is amazing. The first place winner wins a huge cash prize. They also win a trophy and a framed copy of their entry, which they can hang up in their salon, which just looks beautiful. Just for entering alone, you also get a glossy print of your entry and a certificate to say that you've participated. So it's a really, really great way to sort of get going into the competition sphere. So for this year, plans have changed slightly. As with everyone, we've had to adapt to the pandemic. There's no way around it. Like I said, usually the competition would invite you to team up with a photographer, with a makeup artist, with a model, and as we are welcoming those entries as usual, can't wait to see them, but we do realise that perhaps some people might have difficulty accessing a model, accessing a makeup artist or a photographer. So we've had to update the competition slightly this year and just make a few tweaks to make it more accessible. The plan is to make it so that more people can enter and more people can be part of it. So for the first time ever, we are inviting solo photo shoots into the competition. So if you are up for a challenge, and it would be a challenge, you're invited to create your own concept, create your own nail design, and then shoot your own image yourself. A fantastic way to sort of really push those boundaries. We're also, for the first time ever, welcoming entries shot on mobile phones. Like I said, perhaps you don't have a photographer to hand, or they're not someone in the family that can help out with that side of things. So you are permitted, as long as it is in a suitable resolution, you can submit an entry which you have shot on your mobile phone. You can also use one of those silicone plastic practice hands if perhaps you don't have a model and you still want to incorporate sort of your hand into it. Also, the competition is, like I said, really creative. It's really, really open, but we are, for the first time, having a bit of a theme this year. Entries need to incorporate you, the nail professional. We want to see what is important to you through the means of nail imagery. So whether that is a self-portrait, like I mentioned, or perhaps you fancy modelling your hand, give it a go. Or perhaps you could even incorporate your favourite colour, your favourite nail style, or a skill that you've picked up on your journey along the way. Perhaps you've perfected that French manicure in acrylic and you really want to showcase that. This is great. This is a great competition for that. You could also even incorporate a prop of something that's really significant to you. These are just ideas off the top of my head, you know. It is a really, really open theme. All we want to see is how the image represents you. That's it. You will be required to just drop a sentence on the entry form explaining how the image represents you. But apart from that, it really is open. It really is a chance to get creative. All of the information that I've just given is available on our website, and it is at scratchmagazine.co.uk/competitions. As mentioned, all the information's there, and that is also how you enter. It is just an online entry form. The deadline for this year's competition is really fast approaching. It is the 14th of August, which is next Friday at 5 p.m. GMT. So you haven't got much more time left. You need to get those entries in. We really, really want to see as many entries as possible. Like I said, I know circumstances have changed this year and plans have had to change, but we still want to see you getting creative and sharing your now imagery. So as I mentioned, all of the information is available on our website, scratchmagazine.co.uk/competitions. You'll see a button for the Great Scratch Shootout. Click that and that will take you through to all of the information, how to enter, everything. So I'm going to try and add Nina in now. Hopefully she is watching. Yes, she is. She's going to explain a little bit about how winning the competition last year helped shape her career, how she found the process, and just generally we're going to try and get some tips and advice. If you have any questions about the competition or questions for Nina, just pop them in the comments and I'll get round to answering them as soon as they pop up. Right, let's try and add in now. This is always a bit awkward, isn't it, when you're waiting? But as ever. Nina, hi. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good, really good. It's so nice to actually see and chat.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Oh, it's great. Thank you for inviting me on.
No worries. Well, I thought we could perhaps kick off with perhaps a little bit of an intro about you, your career, that side of things.
Well, my career is quite a long one, so I'm going to try and make it as short as I possibly can. It is quite long. I've been in the nail and makeup industry for probably 30 years. It's been quite a while now. I studied theatrical and media makeup at first because I'm a creative human, and I wasn't quite sure what side of the creativity I wanted to go in, but I knew that it was makeup or nails orientated at that point. So I went to college, I did theatrical media makeup, I studied for 4 years. During that time, we also had to learn A-level art. So A-level art and textiles was incorporated into that, and hairdressing. And then during the college course, it then introduced nail technology, which I just thought was amazing. I kind of preferred it in a way because it was very instant. It was an instant thing that you could really transform. I mean, I know you can transform people with makeup, but it had longevity to it. So makeup, you can put a beautiful makeup on, but by 12 o'clock, that makeup's gone. Where you paint a lovely set of nails, I've got those nails for a couple of weeks, and it sort of made me feel better about the creativity that I was in. I then left college and decided that I was going to go and work in Harrods. I decided to just literally go do a trades test, and I got the job, which was amazing. What that did for me was it really helped me to just organize myself. So in Harrods, you get set blocks for your treatment objectives, and you literally have to finish those treatments because the other client is sitting there eyeballing you, literally waiting for that other client to get off that chair. So what it did was it just helped me organize myself. I then looked at each treatment and just worked out what was the most important factor of that particular treatment and focused on that. And then the next time I saw the client, the following week or the next couple of weeks, I then worked on another part of the process. And then eventually I just got my speed up and I would do the treatments in the time frames. So that helped me organize myself, not just me, but organize my table. So I had all my products laid out in the order of the treatment objective I was doing. I just became very organized in that environment. And then a couple of years later, I just thought, okay, it's time for me to leave, because I did want to venture off into other things. And ironically, I got a phone call at the time from a person called Charles Worthington. They had a flagship store, still have the flagship store in Goode Street. And they asked me if I would work in the salon, but at the time it was rubble, so there was nothing on the floor. And they were like, you're basically going up there. So I'm looking at the sky going, okay, I'll go work up there. I worked with a, absolutely, it was actually. I then worked at Charles Worthington, but with a company called Jessica. And I was really lucky to actually be trained by the actual Jessica. So I had a week's intensive course with her, which was amazing. And when you're young, you don't realize sometimes how lucky you are, the positions that you're put in. And it's only when you get older, you look back and you think, wow, that was quite a big deal to actually be, you know, she sat next to me and literally showed me what to do. That's amazing. During that time, I also, because I have to keep jumping because it's such a long career, but during that time, I then worked with ITV, and I was working with Simon Cowell and loads of other celebrities as a makeup artist as well, because remember, I was qualified as a makeup artist. So I was doing loads of live shows at that time as well. So I'd work at Charles Worthington, and then Monday to Friday, and then on a weekend, on the Friday night, I'd drive up, I'd get on the train to Manchester, do a live show on Saturday, come back on Sunday and start working again on Monday. So that was amazing. I did that for quite a long time, and then eventually came down to London and worked for ITV there. And then after that, I then thought to myself, okay, I don't really want to travel backwards and forwards as much as I had been. So how do I then get into the editorial world? Because at that time, there was no such real thing as a editorial nail technician. It was not, it was kind of viewed as, what, why do you need to have somebody to paint nails? And it was more focused on hair and makeup. Yeah. So I would then do, I thought, how do I do this? So I approached a agency, and she was really up for having the challenge of having a nail technician on her books, because it had never been done before. So that was really exciting. So then I started to do editorial work. It was still in the hierarchy, so nails were still at the bottom, lowest level of the hierarchy. So you would do somebody's nails and you'd feel a hairdryer flipping you in your head, because you literally were the lowest nominator on that platform at the time. I say at the time, because now it's completely different. I mean, it's literally just taken over, which is amazing to see. But I was at the very beginning of that game. So I was the one that pushed it and said, oh no, I do nails, and it's just as important as makeup. It's just as important as hair. It's a part of the look. It all balances together. Without one, you cannot create an image that's beautiful. You need the whole thing. So yeah, eventually I started doing more and more work editorially, getting my name out there, which has been a real blessing, because it, as I said, it just started. So everybody was open to having somebody doing nails at their shoots, which is amazing. And I did that, and I still have the same agency, which is Joy Goodman, and I still work with her now, which is amazing. So we have a really amazing relationship, because I'm a believer of sticking to what you know. So she understands me, she knows all the other factors that I do within my working environment, and she respects that, and we work out when I can work and when I can't. But then I started to think to myself, okay, you're getting older, and what else can you bring to the table? So you've got experience, as in you've done makeup, you've done nails, worked on TV, you've done editorial work. But how can you now push that out and feed it to other people with the experience that you have? So I then started to work with various nail companies, Cuccio, one of them, and I became an educator. I did my petals and I became an educator, and then started to teach short courses. So I started to learn the art of teaching a short course, because short courses, if you need skill, you need knowledge, you need to be able to transfer that information. It's a short course. You have to be able to get that information across. And I did that for a number of years and thoroughly enjoyed it. and then changed again because I thought, okay, so now you're doing teaching and you're teaching short courses, you're an educator, but what next? So then I decided that I was going to do my DETLS qualification, to become a teacher to teach in further education colleges, because the courses are different. They're not 4 days, they're 10 weeks, they're 19 weeks. And then you have to structure how to embed that information to somebody in that length of time. So I studied for 2.5 years and then worked in various colleges in London. So I incorporated my short course skills and embedded it in the longest qualifications. And it kind of works because you're always pushing information into somebody, which is really exciting to watch as well, because you can see somebody's brain growing, somebody's eyes are starting to see things that they didn't see before, nail shapes are changing, everything's just getting more exciting each week, the more you teach that person. And yeah, so then once I did that, I then thought, okay, so you've got all the qualifications, you teach in further education colleges, how about wanting to teach for yourself? And the irony was, when I was taught by Jessica, the manual that she gave me, I kept it. So I was 24. I kept it at the time and thought, I'm going to use that one day. And the irony is, I still have the book. I can't use it because it's a little bit too old. But I kept it because I thought, I am going to teach eventually.
Yeah.
So now I've opened my own training studio, Janina Lewis Training, and I teach there. And it's amazing. So I've been able to incorporate every factor of my profession, so I can speak about the real world. I don't just teach a course and say, okay, this is how you do it now. I will teach a person about the real world, what a client wants, visuals, the beauty of something, because it's not just about teaching somebody how to put a nail on. It's about that client looking at that nail and saying, oh my God, or messaging you after saying that's amazing. Plus, because I work in big images, so a nail is that small, but by the time I finish the image, the nail is that big. You then have to make sure that all around that cuticle is completely clean. So my eyes started to look at things in a different way. I would notice what a camera is going to pick up. So it wasn't just about the client anymore. It was about how will that look once that picture's taken? How does that nail varnish sit around that cuticle? When you look at the nail, how beautiful is the shape? What does it look like that way? Because pictures can haunt you. They can haunt you. You can do something and think, oh my God, look at that. Why did I cut that off? And I've realized that I have to stare. There's a way of staring at a nail for me, which is almost 3D. It's not just looking at that nail, it's looking at the whole thing. So what I would say to anybody who wants to enter the competition now, because it's slightly different in the sense that you are looking at your image immediately because you're using your phone, you can then take the picture, stop a minute, and then look at that picture again. I know people will be excited, like, my picture's amazing, but don't think like that yet. Go back again, look at that picture again, and then look at it again, because you'll start to pick up on stuff that you want to change. And, you might end up annoying your own self, to be fair, because I've done that to myself many times. I'm like, right, I'm changing that. But it all ends up with a really amazing image at the end, which I just think you've got to critique yourself. You've got to be honest with yourself. If we can all think something's amazing, but if you stare at it and stare at it and stare at it, pick it apart. There's nothing wrong with picking apart your work. I've picked apart my work for years, and always, every time I've picked at it, I've never gone back and done the same thing ever again. So I've picked at it and said, okay, that will never happen. That bit around the cuticle, it will never happen to me again. I'm going to make sure that I double check. So that's literally, I mean, my career that's a short version. I'm really sorry. That's quite a long version. But I have done a lot. Sometimes I forget the things that I've done, to be fair, because I've been really lucky, and each thing I've done has been a really great thing. And like I said, look back, that's when you realize, okay, you're not in the moment anymore. So you can look back at it and think, wow, okay, that was quite an achievement for somebody who there was no nail industry. I mean, put it that way, but it was really tiny at that time. So to achieve the things that I have achieved, I'm quite proud of that.
And I suppose one of those things you can add to that is winning last year's competition.
Well,
Yay!
that was, yeah, absolutely. I'm a, yay! I have to show it. It's transparent, but yeah, you can just about see it there. But yeah, that was amazing.
So, with your sort of career in mind, what made you enter last year? What was the point when you thought, right, today, this year's my year?
I was really chilled out about it because, as I said, I critique myself a lot. So I saw the advert and thought, yeah, go for it. I've got enough experience to understand it. And I read the brief and I understood it in my way. So, I mean, you know, it's an interpretation of a brief. But in my head, I felt that I'd hit the brief in my brain. And because I'm a visual human, I look at things and know, okay, that will work for that particular thing because my world is surrounded by briefs. So, you know, you go to a photo shoot, they want this, you've got to do it. Sometimes you don't even get a mood board. You've just got to interpretate it and put that information across and people think yes or no. So I felt that it was a time for me to show that part of me, and show that I can actually, I can do it. I mean, it was a personal challenge to myself as well. Can you, Nina? And, you know, the answer was yes, which was amazing. But I made sure that I had the right people around me. So Amanda Clark, she helped with the makeup, and Shanae, she helped with the photography. And our day was really chilled out. There was no pressure on the day. It was just a creative moment. And none of us, we had images of what we thought would be pretty. But when you start a photo shoot, sometimes what you start with is not what you end up with. So it was a very chilled time and we did it. And as soon as I got that picture, as soon as that picture was shot, that was it. I knew that picture was a moment of a picture. And that was the picture that I submitted. Yeah. And I just loved how simple it was. It was not, it didn't, I felt for me, it didn't have to be, you know, overly extravagant for me because that's my personal style. And that's what people have to realize as well. When you're entering competitions, you have to be true to yourself. So what your style is, you relay your style. Don't get caught in other people's styles and don't look at other people's images and think you want to emulate that image. Think about you. And this competition is amazing this year because it's all based around the person and it's based around them. So this is the perfect time for everybody to shine and just do them basically and just have fun with it. Don't take it too personally. Just go with it.
And I remember sort of seeing your entry for the first time, sort of landing my inbox. As the organizer, I see them all, and I've spoken obviously to every competitor along the route. But I do remember your entry landing in my inbox, and I just remember being blown away by how simple and stunning the nail work was. For those that haven't seen the image, I really recommend going to our website and checking it out because it is stunning. It is just the most beautiful shade of blue
Thank you.
nail. And I think people perhaps get caught up in like what you said, emulating other people, but this is about reflecting what you can do and your strength, and like you've said, just beautiful. And I think people perhaps worry that as it's a competition, you've got to do all the things and use all the products. But that's
you really don't have to.
Exactly. You can just do really stunning, simple nail, but when it's done well, my God, it's done well.
Well, thank you. They were sculptured nails, so the actual model she didn't have any nails at all. And
Mhm.
my thing, see, that's what I say. I always say my thing. My thing is a beautiful nail. That's it for
Yeah.
me. It's the
Yeah.
shape of a nail. It's the way a nail is painted. It's just
Mm.
the shine of the top coat. It's all of
Yeah.
those things for me are the things that inspire me. And it's color. And I remember looking at everybody else's entrance and thinking, oh, well, I've kept it so real to myself that have I sort of
Mm.
made it too boring in the sense that I need to emulate, aesthetic that everybody else has done. And I
Mm.
sat there and I remember saying, absolutely not. So it goes back to what I said. I believed in me. If I wasn't placed, I still believed in me.
Mm.
Because you're not placed, it doesn't mean that you're not unworthy. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you're being honest to yourself, and what you think is right is right. That's it, basically.
And it's worth with our competition, we don't mark on the complexity of the nail, for example. It is down to how it works in the image. And you say about sort of critiquing yourself with the
Mm.
competition. Anyone who enters can actually receive feedback as well. You can request your score sheets, which has
Oh, that's
comments
amazing.
as well. So it really is a really good way to push out of comfort zones for sure. But
100%.
big question, how did it feel to win?
It felt very surreal. It was for me. It was like the last cherry on top of that cake. That was like, yay! Finally, no more hair dryers bumping me in my head. I've done it. Ah! That's what it felt like. It felt like all the hard work and the perseverance that I have, because I've sustained my industry. I've never left it. It is nails, makeup, that's it for me. That's my world. And come rain or shine, I will always be in it. And I stayed in it, and it felt like the icing on the cake to say, okay, Nina, all of the hard work, yes, you've finally done something that others can see and hopefully can be inspired to do the same, because we can all do it. I mean, I'm the perfect person to say that. But yeah, it was amazing. It was lovely, and receiving the trophy was amazing. I've never received a trophy before, so that was amazing. And it sits in pridefully in my living room. Here it is again, transparent, but you can kind of see it. But yeah, I'm really, really thrilled by it. It has been a wonderful experience, and yeah, I thank you. That's literally all I can say. Thank you for that.
It was our pleasure. How do you feel that has it helped your career? Have you gained any sort of more editorial work, or obviously with everything that's been going on at the moment, it's been hard.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, perfect time, but not the perfect time, if that makes any sense. But yes, it has been brilliant. I mean, I'm getting contacted for courses. People are reading the things that are placed in Scratch Magazine, which is amazing. You guys have been amazing. So my face is now more on the forefront in the nail world, as in Scratch Magazine. So it's just been an amazing experience of people to see that, you know, anybody can do this. So I hope my students that I've taught and future students to come will understand that I don't just teach nails as a structure. Nails
Mm-hmm.
are a part of my process as well. I mean, come rain or shine, come COVID-19, these will always be painted. Always. So
I think many now the same.
absolutely. So
Got a
yeah, it's been
question,
brilliant.
Blend.
I'm sorry, that just cut out. Just say that again,
Oh,
sorry.
just seen the question from the Hot Blend. Hello, thank you for watching.
Hi.
Yeah, that is absolutely fine. As I mentioned on the entry form, just make sure that you pop in your little explanation about how that image, how you've had a part in that image, whether, like you've said, you've done the makeup, the hair, and the nails, brilliant. That's great. State that, and that's absolutely perfect. So anyone else who's watching, just if you've got any questions about the theme, just pop them in, and I'll answer them. Which brings me on to the next question. What would be your advice for anyone watching right now, or anyone who's going to watch this later? What would be your advice for anyone thinking of entering?
Well, my advice would be, don't be put off with the fact that I actually have the experience that I have. Don't think that you have to have what I have in order to be placed in the competition. It's really about what you perceive as beautiful. So I would say, don't be put off by that part. Just go for it. I mean, make sure, like I said, that you've looked at your image 3 or 4 times before you submit it. Make sure that there's no funny bits of cuticle or any nail varnish that is supposed to be straight that potentially looks like that. Get rid of it and make it straight. It's literally just going over your work and just making sure that once you're happy with it and you've submitted it, then that's okay. Because you don't want to submit something and then look back at it and say, oh no, I should have done. So just really sit down, think about what you're going to do. As in, you know, it's all about yourself, this competition this time. So think about your concept. Try and make it somewhat original. Don't look at other people's work as comparisons, and just go for it and just try and make it as interesting as you possibly can. And that's it, really. You know, just enjoy the process. And if you don't win, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Come back again next year and do it again. You know, and if you say that again, sorry,
I was just going to say, I think it's really interesting that you say that you don't have to have necessarily your experience in the editorial world, because the competition is actually judged anonymously. The panel,
absolutely, yeah.
There are no names attached to any of the entries until we have judged them. So it is judged anonymously. It is about the image. It isn't about the person behind it. So I think that's a really, really interesting point.
Yeah, and my eyes have my family always laugh because my eyes have always been straight. I mean, I can always pick up on stuff that I don't particularly like that can be annoying to others, but I pick up on that. So, you know, don't think you have to be me to enter this competition. You literally really don't. I mean, all I do is I love painting nails, and that can be your entry. If you love painting nails and you love doing acrylic and you can do nails amazingly, then enter. That's it. You know, it's a very fair competition. So enter.
And we do, as the person that's been running it now for the last few years, I've tried to be as transparent as possible through the whole process. Like I said, judging it is purely about the image. And I've had, does the length matter with the nails? No, that's the beauty of this competition. It isn't about marked on the nail complexity. It is more about how the design, how the colors, how the length works within your whole image, within your whole concept. It's all about you and expressing your creativity. Photographer did not want to be named, so I did not add him. Yep, that's absolutely fine. You're entering as the nail professional. This is your entry. In theory, you should have directed this shoot, been in charge of it. This is your time to shine, basically. So I don't know if anyone has any other questions. I'm just going to quick scroll. Oh, there's just so many lovely comments for you, Nina. Just sort of some people say you or have booked to train with you, so that's so lovely to see. But I don't, is there anything else you wanted to sort of, any last word add?
Just go for it. That's literally it. Just do it. This is perfect. We are in a time that is very strange right now, but it also gives you time to really focus on this, because there are so many other things that we should be doing that we're not. So this is the time to really get those pictures looking amazing. And hopefully you'll get a prize like me, and I'll be very happy for you if you do.
Like to see the entry. It's gonna, like you said, it is strange times. So hopefully perhaps having something a bit creative to sort of
Yeah,
work for.
just focus on, and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It can help
but
with your mental health. It can help with everything. Just focusing on something that, you know, and like I said, if you don't win, it's okay. It was still a moment that you can still use that image, because, you know, you will be in the magazine. I don't know how it's going to work this time, but for me, there were loads of all the entries, pictures were in the magazine, in Scratch magazine, and our names were under it, which means that you're still going to be in a magazine regardless of winning or not. And if a client looks at your nails, because all clients are different, and they might look at your picture and think, you know what, I'm going to contact that person to get my nails done by her because I really love her style. So
yeah.
it's a win-win. It's not just about just winning. It's about publicity as well. You know, just having your name out there in a
Mm,
magazine is an amazing thing in itself.
yeah.
So yeah, I just think just do it. Just do it. Just go for it.
Had it from last year's winner, just go for it. So
Go
as
for it.
mentioned at the start of the video, the deadline is the 14th of August at 5 p.m. GMT. So that's next Friday by 5 p.m. You have to have your entries submitted. You can do that via Scratch's website, which is scratchmagazine.co.uk/competitions. You'll see a button for the Great Scratch Shootout. Click it. That will take you to the mini site that has all of the information. It has all of the past few years worth of entries for you to have a quick look at. If you perhaps want to see what else is out there in the previous years, have a look. But if not, cool. There are also regulations and the criteria which we judge the entries on. So that is definitely worth a read before you enter. If you have any questions at all, please just email me. It's cat.hill@scratchmagazine.co.uk, and that is cat with a K. I'm the organizer, so I'm on hand to answer any question. If you even if you think it's a silly question, there is no such thing. Just email me and I'll be happy to talk you through the process. But I think that's it. I just want to say thank you so much, Nina, for joining me
No
and
problem.
me. I'm so passionate about this competition, and it's just always so amazing to sort of see so many like smiley faces get involved with it. So
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's one time to be yourself, truly be yourself. Because sometimes we have clients and we can't go out of our
yeah,
thing, what we love, because the clients that we have may not want that type of nail. So this is the one time you can just go for it and just do what you want to do that inspires you. That's an amazing thing in itself.
exactly. Really push the boundaries and
Yeah,
get creative.
yeah,
Well,
definitely. And good luck, everyone. Good luck.
yeah, good. And thank you so much, Nina.
No problem. No problem. Anytime.
All right, well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you all for watching. As mentioned, email me if you have any questions. This video will be available on our IGTV any second now. Once I hit the end button, it will magically appear. But if not, it will be on our website to also watch back. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
All right.
Take care. Bye.